this isn't the 1-11 team that Colorado had last year that Deion took over. He just didn't take over that team. He brought a whole new team in. So we're seeing a huge difference. And we'll talk about another team that doesn't know how to use the transfer portal, and it bit them in the ass royally, and their season's already over. I think what he's doing is definitely changing how things work, but he's not the only program that flipped 60 guys. There's a handful of teams that have flipped 60 guys on their roster. He's just the most outspoken guy, and that's why people hate him. I don't.
Are you a Deion guy, or are you not a Deion guy?
I think his arrogance is just unwarranted. I don't think you've done anything. I mean, you didn't win at Jackson State. I mean, it wasn't like you were winning titles down at Jackson State or doing anything phenomenal there. And he's coaching at Colorado. They're just not good. They're not making the 14 playoff this year. A 12-team playoff, they're going to be in the Big 12 next year, which is a down Big 12 too, because it's losing Texas and Oklahoma. Maybe you do something there because there's no one else you fucking play. Just the nature of the beast, and maybe you could sneak into a 12-team playoff. But I would be shocked if we see Deion in the next 5 years in a semifinal game.
Well, I don't think it's. I think the goal for him is to have just turn around the program, and then by the time another big job opens up, that's where he's ultimately gonna bounce to. And I think he will get that job, but I couldn't tell you which college it's gonna be. I mean, who knows? Maybe Nick Saban. No, I'm just kidding. But
Alabama was not hiring Deion.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I don't know. I think it's a long play. I think it's just another stepping stone, much like. And maybe Mel Tucker did that stepping stone much sooner just to get to a bigger program. But it's, very recent history has a Colorado coach left and gone on to a bigger program within a bigger conference. So I definitely don't think this is the last stop for Deion. I don't think ultimately, he's going to put a team out there that's going to compete, but I don't think he's going to ever put out a national championship team. I'm not going to lie though, I'd be pumped if, for some reason that does happen within the first 2 years of him being there. But I see this as kind of like a 2 or 3 year deal at max, and then he's gonna end up finding his way to a bigger program. So I don't know. I
wonder. I don't know.
I appreciate Deion's personality though. He's always just spoken his mind and says it how it is, and he's always been that flashy player, that flashy coach, or that's just at the end of the day who he is, and his game's always backed it up, right? Like in the NFL, you saw it there. He was able to go out and land some of the biggest recruits at all time at FCS school, which that was something we've never seen before. But I know the big part of it is like it doesn't matter unless you're winning, right? But at the same time, too, it's a fun storyline. I don't care what you said; it's fun to talk about, especially the first couple weeks of the season when there's not really any big games going on. I'm all in on the Deion storyline right now.
Yeah, he can't come out and lose to Nebraska. Not the way Nebraska played last week. If he comes out and loses to Nebraska, this means nothing. Absolutely nothing to me. Being TCU. If he loses to Nebraska, he won't make a bowl game. The Pac-12 is that good. I think he's going to have trouble finding 4 wins in the Pac-12. That's just how good the Pac-12 is this year, and I think he's going to have trouble doing it if he loses to Nebraska.
I think the win total for them or over under was 3.5 games. Yeah, 3.5 games this year. And with him flipping the entire roster, I was like, it's surprising that it's that low, but at the same time, it's just a bunch of unknowns and uncertainties. So I don't know, the fact that he was able to at least go out, and it was on the road at TCU too. I think that's another little blip in the story as well too. And my favorite
one thing then.
Are you going to make the comment about the way
people saying "fuck you" to him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's ridiculous. To think that opposing schools are not saying that to Nick Saban, Lane Kiffin, anybody else, that Jim Harbaugh at Ohio State or Ryan Day at U of M, like every fucking coach gets that going into another school, especially when you're very, very vocal about how good your team is, yeah, you're gonna get shit talking no matter where you go. So for someone to say, I can't remember who it fucking was. I think he wanted to play a race card, but so be it. I mean, there's gonna be people that hate Deion because he's not white, but that's not the point of what his post was. It's that he pointed out about Nick Saban. I can't remember if was it Lane Kiffin that he named too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was some of the bigger coaches, but
whoever else he named. But dude, have you seen Lane Kiffin walk into fucking Tennessee? He got fucking golf balls thrown at his ass.
I did think that comment was hilarious though, because all it takes is one Google search or one Twitter search, and in the matter of seconds, you're gonna have. I think they had the one year at Auburn or something. The student section was cheering or chanting "Fuck you, Saban," and
yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like it happens everywhere.
There was videos of people in the student section at TCU yelling at him too, and he was like clapping and like egging it on. It's like that. No, that's college football. That is college football.
Yes.
That's what when you go into an opponent's stadium, that's what you want to hear happen to you. So,
and it could just be people that follow Deion from an NFL perspective, because you don't see that nearly as much in the NFL. Maybe some of the players get hate going to certain places, especially from like a rival team. So like Steelers going to Baltimore or Cleveland or vice versa and stuff like that. But the college level is so much different. It's college kids drunk from tailgating all morning to go to the game. It's a totally different atmosphere than an NFL game. It's not even the same sport in that sense. And you're gonna get hate walking into any college stadium, being in an opposing school, especially if you are very vocal about how your team's chances going into that game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all in. If Deion makes, I don't know, if he somehow magically wins 8 or 9 games this year, I mean, I think that would just be electric for college football. And again, it's not going to get you a college football playoff or anything like that, but I mean, it's another great storyline to. It's just, for me, it's a great storyline to kick off the year. I feel like it's because of that. I always feel like the first couple weeks of college football are a little bit slow, and I know there's 2 other games we're going to talk about that maybe make it not seem like that, but I don't know. The Deion storyline for the last couple weeks, it's kind of what college football has been. I'm all for it, because now I just feel like we're already in the heart of it, and there's actually games like now you're going to go watch a Colorado game versus Nebraska game that you probably wouldn't have ever cared about last season, but now you actually got some vested interest just because of the storylines going into it. So all in on the Deion Sanders storyline right now.